In 1993, the WWF crowned Bret the Hitman Hart King of the Ring. But in 1986, our guest here today was King of Kentucky Wrestling. He said, I'm the true Bret. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Bret King, Fern Creek High School, 1983 through 1986.
And of course, this is your 1986 State Championship review video, and I've been working on that Bret Hart, Bret King of the Ring, if you will, reference for about a month now. I've been trying to figure out how to say it. But man, I believe you could take Bret the Hitman Hart way back in the day. My money would be on you 7 days out of the week. So, man, we've got a lot of Fern Creek guys on the channel, but we always start off with the standard question of what gets you into wrestling, man? How do you find it?
Back in the 70s, I had, obviously I got three brothers, and my oldest brother, Mark, he started wrestling back in the mid 70s and kind of brought it home. And with that, the whole family kind of fell in love with it, and it took off from there.
And of course, I guess, is he your next closest brother, Todd?
Todd is my next closest brother. I have three older brothers, and Todd is the third brother. I'm the fourth, and then I have a younger sister named Julie.
Oh, I bet she was always the practice dummy, huh?
No, you couldn't touch her.
Oh, I understand. I get it. Now, of course, Todd, your brother, two-time state champion, 1980 and 1982, also 1982 most outstanding. So, Todd, we have your 1982 video, man. Reach out to us. We've talked before, but now we're gonna put you on video, put you on blast, man. We gotta get that review video done. And then it should be said also, in 1981, Todd was in the state finals against Robert Irvin from Union County. Of course, Robert wins that match, and he goes on to be, I guess, tied for most outstanding wrestler that year with Robbie Clarkston from Connor. So, man, a great, I guess, wrestling lineage coming up in it. Did you, I guess, come all the way through the Fern Creek program when you started?
Well, when I started wrestling back in the second and third grade, AAU wrestling was really small. There was only, a couple tournaments in the summertime. We would go over to New Albany and wrestle over there. And then EP Tom Sawyer would have a tournament or two in the summertime as well. It was nothing like it is nowadays. Yeah. Like I said, we'd be lucky to get in a couple tournaments during the summer, and that was kind of it.
Jerry Whalen, two-time state champion from Eastern, he actually mentioned that EP Tom Sawyer part tournament or summer league, whatever it was. He mentioned that in his review videos, that he could really tell a difference in his wrestling going there. Was it Coach Anderson, Ken Anderson? Is that?
Yes, he was coach at Eastern High School.
Okay.
When Jerry was there. Yes. Oh, he was coach when I was there too.
Okay, because I was there's so many names in my head about wrestling from back then. I couldn't remember if Ken Anderson was like kind of the one kind of spearheading that effort, or if he was kind of the one, organizing, or just happened to be there because of, I guess, that's on the eastern side of Louisville too, correct?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And those would be some good tournaments. There would be people that came from out of state to those things. There was some good competition over there. But when I started wrestling in the second or third grade, whenever it was, I didn't have a singlet. So my mom made me a singlet.
Oh, no kidding.
You don't hear about that, very often. But she made me.
There's no way you still have that, is it?
I do. It was hanging off of that picture that you have.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
I could not tell what that was, man. You'll have to send us like a photo of just that singlet by itself.
I'm afraid to touch it. It might just fall apart.
Okay, fair enough. And you brought up that at plaque, as of this filming, this is August 11th, 2025. We had been doing we started off the individual and team state championship rings. Had a great response for that. People had to dig through attics and dig through storage and found so many state championship rings, and that was a great collection. Then we added the individual state championship jackets, Letterman jackets, team jackets, all that. And you sent me a plaque that you have. You guys were seeing a photo of it. It's got like the state of Kentucky outline. It's got your 85 silver medal. It's got your 86 championship medal. And I put it out a couple of days ago as of this filming. And as soon as I posted, everybody was like, and I added a photo interview from the match as well. And everybody was, sharing it, tagging. Oh my God, look! I believe somebody said it looks like one of your sons. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looks. My youngest son looks just like me.
Okay.
So, yeah, somebody said that it looks just like Cam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Cam. That's it. That's it. And I was like, man, what a great piece to have. And I sent you a message. I was like, man, with the response that we have from that plaque, we got to do your review video. I mean, we have to get it lined up because everybody was like, oh my God, look at this, yeah, sharing it and stuff. So I can only imagine what the actual review video is going to do. Now, before we go any farther, let's talk about Fern Creek's history. Like I said, as of this filming, 3 team state championships, 1975, 1984, which you were a part of, and the most recent, 2015. 37 individual state champions. I believe that's 4th place overall. So if you're a Fern Creek alum or you know any of these guys, turn your ears on for me. 1985, 119 pounds, Todd Adams. I got your video. Reach out to me. 1988, 125 pounds, Troy Adams. Reach out to me. And 1988, 189 pounds, Glenn Washburn. Those are the 3 guys that I need to get with. I've got your video. You're the 17th Fern Creek state champion on the channel. So that's a pretty good roster for the Fern Creek. The Tigers over there can watch and be able to put some stories and some mat times with the names on the banners and the walls and all that in your all school. And of course, we're going to be getting your brother as well, hopefully before too long. So, man, you have a pretty good state tournament run, and I would have to imagine going to Atherton, seeing your brother in the finals 3 times. That had to be a little bit motivating, right?
Oh yes, no doubt.
I understand.
When
you can fill in the blanks there.
When I came in as a freshman, I wasn't known as Bret King. I was Todd King's younger brother.
Yep.
So yeah, there was a lot to live up to, a lot of big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and that's usually the way it goes. You like we've said in a lot of videos, man, wrestling for a long time, and even I guess now to a certain extent, but wrestling has kind of, like you said, been a very closed sport. Dad, grandpa, big brother, uncle, somebody had to wrestle for the most part to get somebody into it. And once they knew who they were, oh yeah, that's so-and-so's nephew. That's, like I said, so-and-so's little brother. I think he might be better than big brother or older brother, however it was. But man, like it's great to, I guess, have somebody to look up to and be like, if he done it, I can do it, because I can't let big brother outdo me. You know what I mean? No matter what it is.
Well, he did. He did for sure.
Yeah. Well, he had 2. You had 1. I think, man, watching that 85 match back. Have you seen that 85 video in a while?
No, I saw that little clip that you sent me, but it didn't have the start of it. There was a lot of missed opportunities in that. But I wrestled Charles Dunlap. My junior year, Charles Dunlap was a returning state finalist. He lost in the finals his junior year. Mm-hmm. And I think I beat him once my junior year, early in the season. But my 5 losses that year, I think I had 5 losses, were all to him.
Oh, really?
Jefferson County tournament, district, region, and state. Yeah,
Wow.
Although were to him. I think I beat him once early in the year, maybe in a dual meet. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
he
sorry.
was solid. He was a good wrestler. He was a good
And
wrestler.
well, I was talking. You said kind of earlier. So man, just watching it back, and I hate to even do the hindsight 2020, but there. I mean, a lot of like,
Oh,
just a few little things here and there, man. Be on top of that podium twice. You know what I mean?
I know I missed one opportunity in the first period, and I should have gotten a takedown, and he ended up with a takedown, and that could have been the difference in the match. But
Yeah.
he said, she said,
Yeah. But man, 1984 as a sophomore, 98 pounds in the consolation second round. You run into Tom Lee of Christian County. Of course, we'll save that name, fans. You'll hear that name later. Tom wins a 6-2 decision. Um, the
I think he knocked me out of the state that year, didn't he?
yeah, six
I
to two
think that knocked
decision.
me
Yep,
out. Of
yep.
course, we didn't wrestle for seventh and eighth and all that stuff
Uh-uh.
then.
No, not then, because they only placed out to four.
Right.
But man, like you said, you're a member of that 1984 state championship team, and man, you scored some valuable team points because Fern Creek scored 112. Second place was Simon Kenton with 105.5. So, man, even getting knocked out there, you still scored some valuable team points and was able to win that big team title. Let's talk about some of the guys on that team. Of course, your two state champions that year, Robert Hall at 126 and Jeff Grimes at 138. You had Jeff Bohannon, Todd Adams, Richard Cook, Andy Prill, Matthew Abernathy, and I believe it's Mark. Is it Fall? Is
Mark
that correct?
Fall. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark Fall.
So sounds like a pretty tough crew. You know what I mean? Sounds like.
That team was loaded.
Mhm.
We went undefeated. We never lost a dual meet. We never lost a tournament. From top to bottom, we were stacked. Like I said,
Yeah.
we put three people in the finals that year. Two state champs. Todd Adams got beat in the finals. I think
Yeah.
he had beat the guy that beat him before. But yeah, that team was loaded. Those practices were pretty intense.
I mean, I believe it. And coming back as a junior in 1985, 98 pounds, we won't go through the whole bracket, but there's two matches I want to talk about. You beat a guy named Dave Barnes from Simon
Yeah,
Kenton.
yeah.
You win a 4-1 decision over him in the semis. Of course, Dave would go on 1988 most outstanding, would go on to Miami of Ohio, become an NCAA All-American. Dave's a legend in Kentucky wrestling for his All-American status. So you're one of the few people that has a win over Dave. But you get to the finals. You mentioned his name earlier. You run into Charles Dunlap from DuPont Manual. He wins a 4-3 decision on you. And I actually had in my notes here DuPont, for those not familiar with Louisville, DuPont Manual, they're kind of downtown area, out to Fern Creek, I guess kind of southeastern, about 16, 17 miles, give or take. And I was going to ask you if you had wrestled him before that close proximity, but you kind of gave us the answer on that one. So
In the 98-pound class, coming in fourth place from Simon Kenton High School, David Barnes. In third place from Whitford County, Zach Means. In second place from Fern Creek, Bret King. And the state champion in the 98-pound class from Manual High School, Charles Dunlap.
in the finals as a junior, coming back 1986 as a senior, do you change anything up? Do you take it like the old cliche, take a long hard look in the mirror and think, okay, what do I got to do? What gets you over that hump, man, to get you back into the finals and be able to win it as a senior?
After losing in '85, of course it hurt, especially 1 point, but we had a lot of guys from that '84 team that wrestled in college.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summertime, we worked out at the school and got a lot better.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, people do that nowadays, but back then nobody wrestled in the summertime. But we would go up to the school and we'd work out a couple nights a week, and going against guys like, Todd Adams, Jeff Bohannon, the old saying, iron sharpens iron, is 100% true, because those guys were absolute studs.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat on me every day in practice back in '84 and '85. And there's no doubt that made me, who I was.
Nowadays in Kentucky, August 2025, there's wrestling programs all over the state. UPike. Now Georgetown's got a program. Bellarmine's Division I, University of the Cumberlands, Campbellsville, Kentucky Wesleyan, Thomas More. We go on and on and on with it. But in the mid '80s, was there a Kentucky college that had wrestling?
No.
Okay.
My brother was at SIU Edwardsville, Division II program. He was up there with Robert Irvin.
Okay. Yep.
Jambo Smith was up there. Robert Hall ended up going to SIU Edwardsville. While my brother was up there, they won 3 Division II national championships, I believe.
I knew it was because there was an article about the Irvin family, and they actually had Robert being a part of that. It was 2 or 3, Division II national championships. So that's kind of cool, man, to be able to have that many Kentucky guys on that roster or on that team, if you will. And before the people hop in the comments and say, yes, University of Kentucky had wrestling in the '80s, but they had to drop it because of Title IX. So we've got a video on that with Coach Garrett Headley, one of Kentucky's University of Kentucky wrestlers, one of the original first SEC champion. He goes into great detail. We have all the information on his video. So University of Kentucky did not have a wrestling team in the mid '80s. It was already disbanded. So before you all jump in the comments, I got you first.
It was gone.
Man, 1986. It's a great year of wrestling, top to bottom. Your Hopkinsville was kind of king of the show. You had Gator Herring. You had Roger Holloway for Hopkinsville, Ernie Herring, all these guys. Christian County had some guys in the finals. But, man, you're 105 pounds. You're a senior. Did you feel better at 105? Like, I've got a better shot at winning it at 105, or just too hard of a cut for 98? Or
that's funny you bring that up, because David Ritchie was at 112.
Yep.
So I was like, that ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So 105, there was talk about me going to 98 my senior year. Mm-hmm. And I actually went down to University of Louisville and had my body fat or whatever that they measure. Yep. They harnessed me up and dipped me down in the water, and somehow they determined how much body fat you had and everything like that. And I think they came back and said the lowest weight you could healthy wise go was like 103 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So I was already pretty slim down, and so that put me at 105 right there.
Because I was going to say, man, right above you had an animal. And also, Antonio Earthman was returning at 105, and he went to 112. And, of course, they were in the same district, same region. So I was going to kind of bring up was that more of a strategy to I don't want to say stay away from Dave Ritchie, but I mean, like I said, he's a tough dude. You know what I mean? Especially, and didn't know if that was just something. And to that, you guys really didn't know who was going where until I guess some phone calls were made, or maybe
Yeah.
because we didn't always used to have this. We didn't used to
Right.
have track wrestling. We didn't used to have. I mean, you got to think '86. We're using payphones. You know what I mean?
The
We're
good old
using
days.
landlines. Kids, ask your parents or guardians what a landline is, because that's how we had to communicate back then. And it wasn't just an instant looking at your phone. Oh my gosh, so and so is going here. You need to bump up so you're away from him. It was just, we're weighing in.
That's
Let the
right.
chips fall where they may.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right, so let's talk about your '86 bracket. Now, this is one of the years, rare years, '86 and '87. This happened, but it was the 8-man bracket. We had the
Semi-state.
16-man to 8-man bracket. So we had districts, regions, semi-state, then
Mhm.
the state tournament. So pretty much 4 weeks of having to make weight, or
Yes.
well, you have to make weight every weekend. I don't want to get that wrong, but having to make weight in the postseason format.
Right.
And say what you want, it's different in postseason. It just is. You just on the official side of the house, it's different. Wrestling, it's different. It's different having to know that, because if you, I mean, there is no tomorrow. Basically, if you don't make weight, that's it. Your season's over with, and
Yeah.
especially as a senior. So if you're already that slim and trim, I can only imagine you were, kind of watching your food intake. Correct?
Correct. 100%. Just an added week of practice, and like you said, making weight, and the chance that something happened and maybe you got hurt, maybe you got caught in a move or something, because semi-state back then, it only took the top two wrestlers
Mm-hmm.
to the state.
Yep.
And I remember I was wrestling in the semifinals of the semi-state, um, and I was wrestling a guy from J Town, and he placed in the state the year before at like 105, and he dropped down to 105 right at the end of 1986. I think his last name was Smith, and I was wrestling him in the semifinals of the semi-state, and I think maybe in the second period I was losing, and I think my brother looked over at me and hollered and said, "You better get blankety blank going." And
Yeah.
my oldest brother was assistant coach my 3 years in high school. So yeah, I think that motivated me a little bit, and you're like, golly, this could come to an end here real quick.
Yeah. And to that, I want you to kind of fill in some blanks for me, because looks like there's four Jefferson County wrestlers in this 1986 bracket. Antoine Britt from Fairdale. Was he in your region, in your
No,
semi-state, or no?
no, he was not. In fact, he was from Fairdale. You're right, and I wrestled him a couple times that year. But I think that's who beat Lee from Christian County in the semi-state was Antoine Britt.
Okay.
And that put Lee on my side of the bracket for the state tournament, because
Okay.
we were like 1 and 2, and when he lost in the semi-state, that put him on my side of the bracket. Instead of us meeting in the finals, then we were going to meet in the semifinals.
Okay, I got you. Because there's another Louisvillian, not the golfer, Ricky Fowler from Doss.
Yes, I remember Ricky. I think I wrestled him a couple times. I think he might have even, did he come back and win a state championship a year or two later or something?
I'll have to look at my Doss state championship list. I
I
don't have
remember.
it in front of me. But you start off, though, the state tournament with a fellow Jefferson Countyan, Sung Soo from Western.
Sue. Yeah.
So was Fowler in your semi-state, I guess, or
No,
the week before?
he was not. It would have been me and Hedges.
Oh, yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 Louisville wrestlers here in
Yeah.
this. I didn't realize that till I forgot all about Blaine. Sorry, Blaine. So there's five of the 8 from Jefferson County. That's incredible. I just now realized that.
Yes. Yes.
That gone. So you and Hedges were in the same semi-state.
We were in the same district. We were in the same region. We were in the same semi-state.
Okay.
I wrestled him like 7 times that year.
Okay. Yeah. Let's save that for the just a little bit later. You start off with a 10-0 decision over Sung Soo from Louisville Western. You get to the semifinals and you win a very close 2-1 decision over Tom Lee from Christian County. Of course, Tom's on the channel already. 1987 and 1988 state champion. Man, that was a squeaker, wasn't it? 2-1.
That was a tough match. We had wrestled at the very beginning of the year. Christian County hosted a takedown tournament. I don't know if they still do that anymore.
They don't they might, but it's not as big. But I remember a lot of guys on the channel mentioning going to that takedown tournament back then.
Yeah, it was right at the beginning of the year. And we went down there and I wrestled him in the finals and it was 0-0. I don't remember how they did the overtime. We went to overtime and nobody scored again. And so they went to some criteria. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, he ended up winning. So that gave me a little, added a little fuel to the fire, you know.
I got you.
So that match with Tom in the semifinals was pretty much going to be the state finals because he was tough. He was strong. He was physical. It was one of those matches that everybody in the gym was kind of tuned into that match going on because they knew it was that caliber of a match. It was a finals match in the semifinals.
Now let's kind of put something together here currently at the state tournament. When we get to the semifinals or quarters or placements or whatever, the announcer, his name's David Dawson, he'll get on the microphone. All right, fans, on mat number 4, we have 15 seconds left. We're tied. Did they come on the PA system and announce, hey, we got a close match here on mat 4, or how did nothing like that?
No, there wasn't any of that. It was just everybody, you just knew, you knew what the big matches were. And
I got you.
That was definitely one of them. He got beat in the semi-state in the finals, like I said, and that dropped him into my side of the bracket. And I'll never forget my dad. Of course, back then you didn't know anything. You didn't have computers or anything. You found out information by the paper.
Yep.
And I remember coming down Sunday morning. My dad was reading the paper, and he said Lee boy got beat in the finals. And I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Well, you know what that means, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "That puts him my side of the bracket." And he said, "Well, you got to beat him sometime. It might as well be then."
Well, yeah, fair enough. I guess that's a good way to look at it. But man, you move on to the finals again. You're back in the finals against a person that you said you wrestled a bunch, know pretty well. Blaine Hedges of Wagner. Mm-hmm. Now, like we said earlier, talking about last year in the finals, Fern Creek to DuPont a little bit, but Fern Creek to Wagner, I've got it about 8 miles away, according to Google Maps. So you said you'd wrestled him district, region, semi-state. Now, you probably wrestled him 2 or 3 times throughout the season. Is that fair to say as well?
I think I wrestled him like 7 times that year. That was when Fairdale started a King of the Bluegrass tournament. Did they still have that?
They do, yep.
Okay. It was the very first year they had it. And I wrestled him in that. I wrestled him in the Jefferson County tournament and finals. I wrestled him in the dual meet, district, region, semi-state, and then get to the finals, and there he is.
Man. Now, a few questions here before we go on. Normally, the back in the 80s, the state tournament was 2 days there at Atherton. A lot of guys we've asked that live Jefferson County, Oldham County, wherever it may be. Did you go like back home after the semifinals and kind of rest, or what did you do in between that period of wrestling your semis to the finals?
Well, that's what was a little different about 86 was with an 8-man bracket, we had 3 matches that day. And the year before, when you had 16, the semifinals, you only had 1 match that morning.
Okay.
And then you went back home. You had all afternoon off. In 86, I had 2 matches that morning and first round semifinals. So the semifinals ended a little later. And yes, I did go back home. It wasn't a long break, but it was a break to where I could get out of the gym and kind of get home and relax a little bit.
Yeah.
I had some family members in from Tennessee, and then of course my brother was in from college, and they were all planning a big party that night. And I'm trying to stay focused a little bit, but they were ready to party. I was like, we got to finish this off here.
Right, baby. Gotta I guess dot the I's and cross the T's before we can pop the champagne corks. Now,
Right.
Earlier we talked about having 3 weeks of postseason wrestling. Like I said, it's different. It just is.
It is.
Coming in to, I guess, a meat grinder like that, if you will, are you coming into the state tournament, into the state finals healthy? Nobody really is. You know what I mean? There's always a bumper bruise or, whatever, but are you coming in 100%, 95%?
No. And I hurt my neck the Monday of the state tournament and strained some muscles in my neck. Ended up at the orthopedics office Monday night, hooked up to electrodes all week. Couldn't practice, but mainly focusing on just making weight for Saturday.
Yeah.
A lot of jump roping going on.
I believe that. And that was kind of my next question was, did you guys get pounds, like 2-pound allowance, or had to make base for that 105, or how did it go?
I think the way it went was come January, you got a pound. Come February, you got 2 pounds. I think that's how it used to be.
Yeah. Well, nowadays it's on Christmas Day forward, you're permitted 2 pounds of growth. And now it's kind of based on if school districts are able to have practice, you can get, a pound. If you can't practice, whatever. I didn't know how it was, if you remembered how it was back then. I don't think I've ever asked anybody that about the weight from back in
On
the
a
80s.
2-day tournament. So say like an 85, you had a 2-day tournament. So you got another pound on Saturday.
Okay. Because in the 90s, I know complete different era, but we've heard stories about 135 pounders coming in weighing like 150 because it was only a 1 day. It was 2 days of competition, but 1 day weigh-in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're getting down to fighting weight, if you will.
Yes. No doubt.
Now, this 1986 video, man, it's got the face-off, the match, and the medal ceremony. And the standard question I hit everybody with: how long do you think it's been since you've seen this 86 video?
I would say probably 15 years. I found a copy of it in my parents' house 15, 16 years ago, I believe. I had it made into a CD, and I watched it back then, but I haven't seen it in many, many years.
Well, man, we're getting ready to put you back today. It's been X amount of days since whatever at this factory. We're going to put X amount of days. We're going to put you back to 0 since you've seen your state finals match in 1986. And there we are, live in color at Atherton High School. Man, like I said, 1986, great year of wrestling. Your Richie Parker from Connor was out here then. Dave Ritchie,
David Ritchie.
Yeah,
Jamie Ball. That's Jamie Ball right there with his back to us.
Yep, Jamie Ball from Simon Kenton. We want to say, Jamie passed away on us a while ago, but we're going to be doing a memorial video for Jamie. We've talked to one of his brothers and Dave Barnes to do a video. Just up and down, man. Christian County and Hopkinsville. We're going back and forth for the team title in '86. So just a great year. Truly is just a great year of wrestling. But I think we have talked enough about it, man. Let's go.
From Fern Creek, a senior with a 38-1 record, Bret King. His opponent is from Wagner High School. He's a junior with a 35-7 record, Blaine Hedges.
I love it, man. You can feel the tension. No handshake, no nothing. Just, I love it.
Let's get after it.
Let's go, man. Let's do it. All right, so
That scoreboard was hard to see when you were wrestling.
I can imagine. All right, so of course you're in the black singlet here. Blaine's in the red with the full leggings. Having wrestled him as many times as you had throughout your career in this season, did you kind of have a game plan of what to stay away from or what you could score on him with, or how did it go for you?
Well, my strong point was, on my feet. I don't think I got taken down at all my senior year, not one time. So I was very comfortable on my feet. On top, I was comfortable with riding.
Okay.
I had kind of worked on a new takedown that and you'll see that here, that I really messed up big time. With wrestling him that many times, I was trying to come up with something a little different. And
I can understand that.
I had it in place, and I rushed it, and it about came back to haunt me.
I got you. Now, earlier you mentioned your family. Are you guys are giving a stare down. I love it. I love it. You mentioned earlier your family was there. Do you remember where they were sitting in the gym?
I can tell you right now, you'll be able to see my dad. He's pacing along the back behind the referees. He's got a blue shirt on. He could never sit still.
I understand. I get it, man.
There he goes, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Blaine was a good wrestler, though. He was strong.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
Right here it is. Right here it is.
Okay. Trying for that trip there.
Inside trip.
Yeah.
I kept the leg. I knew if I kept the leg, I was fine.
Yeah. Excellent job rolling through that right there. My goodness.
I had it set up exactly the way I wanted it, and I rushed it. I didn't put my arm around his hip to where when we went down, he would hit on his backside, and instead he hit on his hip, and we rolled.
Oh.
And that put me in a bad spot.
Now start the second period. The score 0-0. Blaine's taken down here. Now, you mentioned earlier you're a good on top, good rider. Knowing what he was good at, had you kind of, I guess, manufactured some offense or some defense for him?
I was a leg rider. I wasn't a strong physical guy. I would like to pick up some cheap points, some tilts or something like that. Pick up some cheap points and, then go to the bottom and get up, and then we start back on, neutral on our feet. And I was, like I said, I was very comfortable with that.
And he does an excellent job right there of getting his head out. And he's trying to get that leg free, but you're just not letting go.
I think he gets a reversal on me. I think I get too high, too extended. I think he comes out the back on me. I'm just looking for some cheap tilt points. I think right there. I got too extended, too far extended.
Just a little bit too far over, and that's how quick it can happen.
Yep.
Blaine gets a reversal on you.
Yep.
So it's now he's up 2-0.
But I still feel I'm confident right here. I'm going to get out of bounds, and then we're going to start over. And I knew he couldn't hold me.
Yeah.
So I got 45 seconds to get my 1 or 2 points here. And then I start down in the third period, so I'm fine.
Got to take the all-time stall move, adjust the knee pads.
Hey, you couldn't see the scoreboard. You could.
Yeah. A lot of guys have said that over the review series history, in close matches or whatever. Now, who's that in your corner over there?
That's my brother Mark, my oldest brother Mark, and Coach Tim Dench.
Okay. Looks like he's trying for a spladle right there, but a spladle or banana split. You get a reversal, so now we're tied up 2-2.
We're 2-2, getting ready to go into the fourth period. I'm going to choose down. I'm good.
Well, that's the end of the second period. 2-2, man.
Like I said, when you wrestle somebody that many times, it's familiarity. I mean, it's hard to score a lot of points.
Yep. And especially when you guys are both good. You know what I mean? It's not that
all of our matches were pretty close.
I can see it just in this match. I could see that being.
I think I hit him with a standing switch. Yeah.
Yep. Right there, you get the reversal.
So now I'm just trying to ride him. If I get in trouble, I'm going to cut him.
Mm-hmm. You got Gene Washington right in the way. Move out of the way, Gene.
He was a good ref. Gene was a good ref.
Yeah. Yeah, Gene's been around for a long time, man.
He has.
All right, so we get a stalemate there. You look up at the clock. And this is in the area you guys can see the 10-foot circle. You guys started on the 10-foot circle with your feet. From neutral.
No, we started on the inner circle.
Okay, on the referee lines?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. My apologies.
So one thing I tried to do when I started on top like that is I could start on either side.
Mm-hmm.
That way somebody didn't know exactly which side I was going to.
Smart. Now I can't tell if it's a member of the media or somebody over there behind Fern Creek's coaches, like it's a lady like in a blue sweatshirt.
That's one of our mat mates.
Okay. Because she is living and dying with everything you're doing.
Yep, she was a senior with me. She had been through it since she was a freshman. She was a diehard fan.
Yeah, you can see her over there giving it everything she's got.
She was a diehard. Oh, I almost get in trouble there.
I was going to say, right here towards the end, man, almost get a little bit too high.
I think I'd dig that other leg in there somehow. Yeah.
Flatten him out. You get back to safe position. Counting down, about 8 seconds left.
Legs in, double underhooks. I'm good.
And there it is. You win by a final score, 4-2. You and Blaine shake hands. He gives a good head nod. Good sign of sportsmanship there. Go over and shake Wagner's coach's hands. And you get carried off the mat, man, like a hero.
Good times, good times.
Oh yeah,
A lot of pressure came off right there.
I believe it. And this is the medal ceremony here for the 105s.
That guy that used to do the announcing, I don't remember his name, but he had a great voice. He did a great job.
Yeah, we've got him on video from, I believe, 81 through 86 doing the announcing. So he did do a great job.
There's Lee from Christian County.
Yep, Tom Lee. Blaine getting his bracket and his medal. And you must have been up in the bleachers or something, because it takes you a minute to get down here.
I was just savoring the moment.
I don't blame you. They hold up for you to walk down.
I still had all my warm-ups and everything.
Yep. And that's where the 86 video wins, man. So, like you said, man, a lot of great memories are out there being carried off the mat and having your family there. And so it's been a couple years since you've seen it. Does it play? You were kind of hitting everything like you remembered it, like it was yesterday, but does it play out the way you remembered it?
It does. That's one thing I can say. I can't remember what I did last week, but I can tell you who I wrestled, in 1986 or 85 or 84. That's amazing. But yeah, it pretty much did. Yes.
And man, that's, I just love being able to give the videos back to people that may have lost them or never had a copy, or it's, who knows what happened to it. And not just, but your family and friends, and now, your kids and anybody you've come in contact with going to have this and have it forever. And we should say that Blaine Hedges went on the next year in 87, and I believe it was the 112 weight class. He was a state champion. That review video is on the channel, and I'm sure most people know Blaine retired from the United States Army as a colonel. So, don't feel too bad for him. He made up for it the next year and made up for it in life. And I believe he was appointed head wrestling coach or head wrestling something for like a Army, Navy, Army, Air Force, some type of like high school, prep school in California. I don't know the exact. He said that on his video. I'm not sure if he still holds that, but he said that on. Blaine, I'm sorry, man. I can't remember the exact name of it. My apologies. So, excellent performance there. In basketball, football, whatever, baseball, it's hard to beat somebody 3 times in a year playing a basketball game, like in the NCAA tournament, or playing somebody twice in football. It's happened with like Alabama and Georgia or whoever it may be. Being that close, wrestling somebody that many times over your career, I mean, you guys canceled each other out on a lot of things. It's like the spy versus spy. You know what I mean? Back in the Mad Magazine, way back when, you guys knew what you were going to be doing, kind of knew the other person's strengths. Hey, I know he's going to try this, so I need to be ready for that, all that kind of stuff. And you took offense where you could get it. You know what I mean? You scored where you could, and it paid off for you. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Like you said, I mean, when you wrestle somebody, or even, whatever, compete against somebody that many times, you get to know them, they get to know you, they get to know what you do, you get to know what they do. And it's difficult to score points. But like you said, you got to find a way to score enough points to win the match. And
I completely understand
sometimes it's not pretty, which it wasn't. but it's probably one of the worst matches that I wrestled all year. But it's good. That's a mark of a good team or a good wrestler when they don't perform well and still win.
And at the end of the bracket, it doesn't say this was pretty, this was ugly, this was whatever. It just says winner, state champion. You know what I mean?
Right. That's exactly right.
But before we kind of wrap this one up, you brought something up in, I guess, before we started filming, is you were Kentucky's first AAU national champion. So kind of give us that story.
Yes, I was back in, I think it was 1984, the summer of 1984.
Yeah, that's what I got wrote down.
Yeah, we some of us went down from my high school. We went down to Jacksonville, Florida, and competed in the national tournament. Now it's nowhere near what it's like nowadays. I mean, they might have 75, 100 kids in a bracket nowadays. Of course, people didn't travel for sports like they do nowadays back in the 80s. We went down there, and I think I might have had 6, maybe 7 guys in my bracket. I don't remember. Wasn't a lot, but got to the finals and was wrestling a guy from the state of Washington. And he was beating me pretty good. I don't remember the score, but he was putting it on me. And I caught him in a move and ended up pinning him. And that's how I won. But yes, I was the very first national AAU champion in the state of Kentucky.
Now, was that freestyle? Was that folk style?
No, that was freestyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't wrestle Greco. I didn't have the muscle to wrestle Greco. I was a freestyle wrestler. I was on my feet. That was my strong point, was wrestling on my feet.
Yeah, man, Greco is a different animal. I mean,
that wasn't me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Greco, man, that's just a totally different set of skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It just is.
I kept to the freestyle.
I don't blame you one iota. So the Fern Creek crowd helped me out here. Todd Adams, 85, Troy Adams, 88, and Glenn Washburn, 1988. Please reach out to me. Reach out to those guys. We're looking for them. We're going to be getting with Todd King and doing his 82 video. Now, we like to add in what we don't have video-wise. So if you have any of these videos laying around in your attic, in your closet, in wherever it may be, basement, please reach out to myself, reach out to Bret. A lot of people on the channel can help you get in contact with me. Anything from the 1970s. We have no videos from the 1970s. So anything you have state finals, we'd love to get that. 1980, 1984, 1990. 1990, 1993, 2001, 2006, 2007, 2009, 2016, and 2019. We have individual matches from some of those years, but we're looking for the whole state finals video, especially stuff from the 90s and 2000s. We know it's out there. We just got to find it. But especially 80 and 84 and anything from the 70s, we'd love to have it. The earliest we have on video is 1969, so we know state tournaments were filmed. If you have anything from the 60s, we'd love to have that. We have a DVD, VHS converter. If it's a format that is older than a VHS tape, we can get that converted. We'll pay for it. We just need the footage. We just want to make sure we have the footage. It's in a safe place and it can be used to tell stories like Bret's. Because a lot of people are just now starting to find Kentucky wrestling, and they're just now starting to see there's been good, exciting wrestlers and wrestling in Kentucky for a very long time, man. We've just been hid for far too long. People just didn't know what we had to offer. And now we've got a whole new audience coming into the sport that never knew we existed. Now they're fans. And it's all because we're able to tell stories like Bret King's. So, sir, is there anything we haven't covered? Anything else you'd like to say, add, take away, anything like that? The floor is yours.
I would just like to thank you, Alex, for doing what you do. My brother turned me on to your videos, I don't know, a year or two ago. and I really enjoy watching some of the 80s, 70s, 80s. Back in my day, I don't know the younger guys, but those 80s videos that you're doing, I really enjoy those, and I spend hours watching those things. I ran into Coach Rusty Parks a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about this, and he was saying, "Yeah, you can spend a whole Saturday watching." I said, "You're right, Coach."
Yeah, I'll reach out to Coach Parks about once every 2 weeks. Hey, just let him know who we got coming. Hey, Coach, we got this guy. You think you could hook us up with this guy's phone number? And he's like, absolutely. We'll do whatever we can. So it's always a joy, man, to get up with Coach Parks there at Woodford County. Not just Coach Parks, but everybody that has been able to help us across the state. I mean, I think Coach Parks might be one of the most recognizable names, one of the most recognizable faces in Kentucky wrestling. People have a lot of respect for Coach Parks and what he's done with the FCA and all that.
Yes,
so
100%.
It's just like I said, man. The ability to tell the world what we knew for a long time, and now the world's getting to see it. That's what I love about this series. There's a lot that I love about this series. Don't get that confused. But one of the main things I love is just giving people like yourself a platform to say, hey, this is what made me who I am today. This shaped my life so much. I have such a love for the sport, or a love for what I knew I could. My best is I knew I could win a state championship. I just had to go prove it. And now we want to replicate that in life. I want to be the best dad I can be, the best co-worker, the best, grandfather, uncle, whatever life path takes you, what your best is, being on top of that podium, and now you just get to replicate it in other areas of life. And that's one of the things I love, is hearing the stories and being able to share with. Now, before we go, do you think your kids will watch this and be like, Dad, I could take you?
Well, they probably could. I'm getting up there in age, so they probably could right now for sure. I don't let them know that though.
Yeah, we'll make sure to cut that part out. You know what I mean? We'll blur it or whatever, edit, put a beep over it or whatever, like you see on TV. But man, I believe we've reached a good ending point here for this video. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.